Good afternoon, folks. 4 p.m. Friday, March 31st. March going out like a lion, it appears, as we are at the beginning stages of a severe weather event that is likely to take us through the evening hours. Showing current radar right now from Little Rock, and those storms starting to matriculate to the east and head in our general direction. The Memphis metro is under a high risk of severe weather. That is a level 5 out of 5. It is a rare occurrence for a high risk to be posted by the Storm Prediction Center. In fact, our last high risk in the Memphis area directly was 12 years ago. And so it does not happen very often. That is driven by our potential for strong tornadoes in the area this evening. And so I want to give you a picture of what we're looking at right now, what we expect to happen over the next several hours, and talk a little bit about some safety, and then wrap it up with a couple of notes on storm anxiety, because I know it's out there. We've heard you, and want to offer a few tips on that as well. So currently, just after 4 p.m., we do have storms that are lined up from northeast to southwest across the state of Arkansas. There was a pretty large tornado that went through the northern parts of Little Rock about an hour ago. That storm has kind of fallen apart, but additional storms are continuing to form. The red boxes you see on the screen are tornado warnings. The yellow box is severe thunderstorm warnings, and Memphis being right over here on kind of the right of center as these storms are moving to the east northeast. So that is the current situation. We are seeing a higher amount of instability to our west, but the strong southerly winds and a little bit of sunshine that we had are helping to boost that in the metro as well. And we expect that our instability, or storm fuel, basically will continue to rise for at least the next couple of hours, as this system starts to move in, before starting to fall off just a little bit as we head later on into the evening. So let's take a look at how the latest high-resolution rapid refresh computer model, the HER model that we like to use on social media and share with you, is handling this situation as we head into the evening hours. And so I want to start with it at about 4 o'clock. And you can see that it does have those scattered storms roughly where they are right now. A few cells that it's showing starting to pop up in the Mississippi Delta, but the main event kind of off to the west. And also there's a cold front that extends back from southwest Missouri into north central Arkansas, and then back along the portion of the storms that is showing across northeastern Texas. And as these storms move to east-northeast, ahead of that, that front will be surging to the east and beginning to push this through our area. So as I move this forward to 5 o'clock, you see those storms basically getting a little bit closer. We do have a storm to our west that is of a little bit of concern that could be as close as the river by 5 o'clock. One thing I want to point out is don't look at individual storms and where they are on this particular map. Use this as a trend or guidance as to what generally the radar may look like, but just because it does not have a storm over your location does not mean that you won't at that time. So Memphis is right here on, again, kind of right of center, with Little Rock in the middle of the map. So we go to 6 o'clock, you see those storms kind of congealing. Still in a lot of individual cells within that line, though, and these are supercells, and they are storms that would be capable of producing damaging winds, possible tornadoes, and hail, in addition to heavy rain as they move through. So those are getting much closer by the time we get to 6 o'clock. So we get to 7. The front is kind of catching up to this line. This is coming through southeast Missouri, is about where that front is, and it's starting to push this off to the east. So at 7 o'clock, it looks like those storms are kind of overhead around the area and trailing off into south central Arkansas. As we get to 8 o'clock, they're still around. It's still pretty scattered, though, not a solid line just yet. And so that's a solid line would start to transition these storms from more of a supercell tornado threat to more of a damaging wind and embedded tornado threat. So even as of 8 o'clock, it hasn't done that, but you start to see that about 9 as it's moving to the east side of Memphis, and 10. Now it is starting to become more of a line of storms as it then pushes off to the east by 11. So our time frame of concern then is basically starting here in the next hour, probably by 5 o'clock, especially to areas just to the west, and then moving through 6, 7, 8, and 9 o'clock, and then by 10 and 11, it should be basically off to the east of Memphis. So we're going to call it 5 to 10 o'clock. 5 o'clock starting for the west, 10 o'clock kind of ending off to the east. Memphis, kind of right in the middle of that time frame, will be the potential for the greatest threat for strong to severe storms. let's talk about a few things to be prepared for this. So first of all, I want to mention you should have your cell phones and other electronic devices charging now. We do expect some power outages around the area from damaging wind, possibly, and so that's going to cut down some trees and so forth. It could take out some power lines. Power outages are not unusual in strong storms. Be ready for that. You need to know what areas are around you. These storms will be moving at 55 to 60 miles an hour as they move into the area. There will not be a lot of time once a warning is issued for your area to take shelter if you need to. And so you need to know what counties are to your west or west-southwest. Shelby County, right here in the middle of this map, Crittenden County, St. Francis, and Lee counties are kind of in the direction of where these storms are going to be coming from. If you're up to the north in Tipton County, it's Cross and Crittenden, kind of upstream from you. Those will be the counties that are more likely to get hit first before it comes to you. Down here in North Mississippi, Tunica, DeSoto, Tate, you guys are all feeding into Marshall County and Fayette County, and upstream from you, Lee and Phillips County. The southern part of the Memphis area down in DeSoto County, Tunica County is upstream from you. So get an idea of where you are and know what it might be coming as you're watching television or watching social media feeds for that information. We also want to strongly suggest that you've got multiple ways to get warnings, not only tonight, but all the time, but particularly in a situation where the threat could be localized. We could have power outages that could render one or more of these unusable. Cell phones are great. They also can fail, and you need other ways of getting that information. Outdoor warning sirens a lot of times cannot be heard inside, especially if the rain is beating on your windows and the wind is blowing hard. That is mainly for outdoor use. If you're close enough to one that you can hear them, then great. Don't rely on it as your primary source. And you've got a couple of different ways of getting those alerts on your phones. If you've got those batteries charged up, you should be able to use wireless emergency alerts, or One Way. They are the provider that comes with the phone, with any relatively new phone. Although I do understand there are some deficiencies with that right now nationwide at this time. Hopefully they get that fixed, but you also should be able to get information either through social media or other weather apps. We recommend the Stormwatch Plus app. That is our app. The Stormwatch Plus alerts in there will provide you with pinpoint weather warnings. Once you have that subscription in the app is free to download. The subscription is 99 cents a month. You can get through the springtime season for about $1.98, and you will have the latest warnings as soon as they are issued for your specific location. We strongly recommend that you take a look at that as well, but have multiple ways to get your warnings. If for some reason we do need to shelter tonight, and I have a feeling we may get a couple of tornado warnings around the area during the evening hours tonight. Hopefully it's not where you are, but just never know about that. You want to make sure that you've got good tornado sheltering guidelines. So obviously, you want to be as far to the right on this graph, in this slide, as you can be. A storm shelter or a FEMA safe room, obviously, if you've got that, you know where to go. Good options also, though, interior rooms of well-constructed homes. You've got a stick-built home, you've got a first floor bathroom on the interior or someplace away from windows. If you have a basement, great. That would be a great place to be. Otherwise, anything that's surrounded by walls that are close together, no windows around, is a good option. The farther to the left you get, the worse those options get, and we recommend that as this weather is approaching, before it gets here, you find ways to move towards those higher options. If you are in a mobile home or manufactured housing, see if you can find a friend tonight and go hang out with them in their house and stay tuned with the weather there and be out of that mobile home. Please try not to be driving around in your vehicle tonight as these storms are moving through. That's not a good place to be either. So just basically be looking for places where you can go farther right on this particular slide. And I want to wrap up with a few top points here for storm anxiety. I know it is out there, and there are certainly when we have a level 5 high risk, it kind of gets everybody's attention. So first of all, one certainly way that you can handle this is to just be informed. Know what's going on. Have your preparations ready. Go ahead and have that safe room ready wherever it is with your safety kit or your shoes and your bicycle helmet. Any way that you can protect yourself and be ready when it's time to come out, to know where your family is and be able to have that place ready now. Have your multiple warning sources. We've talked about that. Know the geography. We've also talked about that. Understand the situation that's around you, and you can certainly be following on local TV or on our social media feed, other places that you're comfortable getting that information and just understanding what is going on around you. And you can also get obviously the latest radar updates and so forth there as well with the latest information. So know that you can manage this with preparation and with knowledge, and also just know that even if we do get a tornado or two come through the metro area in some way, the vast majority of the area will be untouched by that event. And so I also like to recommend just playing the odds. A tornado moves through the area and you go 1 block away and there's very little damage. So just know that we can get through this together by having the information and being prepared and keeping those things in mind. So we're going to continue to provide this information to you throughout the evening hours, social media, on Twitter at MemphisWeather1, on Facebook, the MemphisWeather.net Facebook page. Find that pinned post at the top, the top post when you go to the page. All of the comments in there will have all of the updates for tonight's event. You can follow along there and get the latest there. And if everything comes together right and we don't lose power or anything at our locations, we hope to be able to provide a YouTube live stream, at least for parts of the evening as well, and basically go wall to wall with you on YouTube. So we will let you know on Twitter and Facebook if we're going to do that, but you can follow us along there as well. So everyone, please stay safe. Exercise your precautions if they become necessary. Don't wait around for confirmation of an event. If you get a warning, go ahead and take action and be prepared. We will get through this together. The sunshine comes back out tomorrow, and I hope that everybody is able to get through this evening without any significant issues. We will see you on the other side. Have a good night.